Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Okay. I had to... You can see it now, yeah?
Let me just stream. Yeah.
Oh! Weird.
Did you tell people?
Huh?
Ernest? I said, did you tell?
Did I tell people it was my internet?
No, that you were doing anything with it or something? Because, yeah, Ayumi saying that, like, stream was off.
Yeah, I think it was my internet that did that. Because I honestly didn't realize until I saw the Discord, message for that. The stream was offline. Yeah, I think my internet might have, cut out a bit. I mean, which would make sense why you weren't able to see the screen.
Well, then it might have been mine. I was telling you, like, wait, hold on, I'm just gonna reset mine real quick.
Oh, I reset mine too, but then my internet apparently went out.
Oh.
Oh well.
Anyway.
I guess the gallery owner does that part then. Getting the paintings framed, hung on the walls and whatnot. So why are you here?
Felt like it.
The same old stupid pattern emerges again. Me asking her questions to which she replies with answers that don't answer anything because it is the only other way we can converse. Apart from me listening to her blabbering about whatever, which isn't really a conversation. Is this a play? Are there some unseen rules that we have unknowingly set ourselves into, dictating the rules of engagement whenever we see each other, inevitably leading to us hurting each other? Her nonchalant answers are accompanied by even more nonchalant shrugs, leaving me none the wiser. I guess I should be happy that the exhibition preparations are complete. Am I still alive now is a bigger question.
I mean, it seems to be.
Okay. When I walk into my room, I hear her footsteps following me in. Cat. I didn't invite her in. I won't ask her to leave. She claims my bed without asking permission, making me wish that I had taken the time to make it before I left in the morning. She then stands up again as though she sat on hot coals. I half lean against a single corner of my desktop that isn't cluttered with stuff to rest my legs at least a little bit. Rin spends a few moments glancing curiously around my room. It makes me realize that she's never seen it before. For a moment, she actually looks like she's concentrating, trying to get everything. This must be the eye for detail that makes her an artist. Since the room is small, she quickly runs out of things to look at, but nothing else transpires, allowing the uncomfortable silence to take over the atmosphere. The mood is chilly to say the least, and both of us are on guard, waiting for the other to make the first move. Of course, Rin could play this game forever, so it has to be me. So, I give up because she's never tried to open conversation, and because it seems that she wants to say something, and I want to get it over with. Yeah. Why else would she be here if she didn't want to talk? I don't know what to say to myself. I want to be angry, but I can't bring myself to yell at her or anything. My voice catches her attention, and she tries to search for words as well, but it seems that she is not entirely certain as to why she's here either. And so Rin simply takes a few steps to close the distance between us and rises on the tip of her toes to even out the height difference.
It was a bad idea. Maybe you should forget about it. And I will too.
It's a reflex, and almost as an afterthought, the words no, yes, and maybe simultaneously surface inside my mind. My hand is between her lips and mine, a wall that I raise to guard against something. Her breath feels warm against my fingers. The scent of her skin lingers about the mysterious indescribable sensation that captures me and draws my eyes deep into hers. The look in her eyes is surprised, quizzical as to why the impertinent hand prevented her advances. Her eyes are really big and glistening with moisture, and staring right into my own with a soft gaze that I'm having a hard time to match. Rin's half-open mouth makes her look even more confused, although the sensual way her lips are arching is signaling something completely different.
Please.
I keep forgetting follow modes exist. Yeet.
I need you.
The words come from her throat as a coarse whisper, meant only for me, bypassing her tongue and teeth without giving them any chance to interrupt. They sober me in an instant, and I clumsily flinch back to get a little bit of distance between us, painfully scraping against my desk in the process. Maybe it's her choice of words, maybe it's the way she says it, but something in it puts me off. Something is wrong. Something is terribly wrong again. Need me for what? All the unpleasant feelings emerge again, and I feel my heartbeat suddenly increasing at least tenfold. Rin's eyes go out of focus and back again as her body relaxes from the tense state as she stands upright again.
I don't think I was thinking about anything. Why do you draw patterns in that dust on your night table? There was a word for that kind of thing, but I can't remember.
Her remark almost throws me off track, and I glance over her shoulder at the small table next to my bed, but I can't see anything from the distance. So she needs me for nothing specific. I just happened to come by because she thought I'd be glad to see her after she shut me out. No complaints accepted for a week. Completely altruistic motives. Felt like it? Bullshit. I can answer myself. To play mind games whenever you want to kiss whenever you want, to ignore whenever you want, to fulfill your whims whenever you want. Is that it? What you need me for? My voice is sounding very angry again, even to myself. Good. Rin too finally catches a mood, and her curious expression changes instantly to something more uncharacteristic.
No.
She leaves it at that, her eyes restlessly wandering around, searching the room as if the words she tries to find were written in the tapestries of my walls. Then what?
I needed to paint.
Paint. Of course. That's what artists do. The words reverberate through my being, beating in my blood over the piercing whistle of my anger. Don't give me that, Rin. I'm not some damn muse for yours, free to play with for the sake of painting. I'm not some medium for whatever you aspire to. I am me. So what if I don't know anything about my future? There's nothing I want and things I care about. There's things I want. God damn it. Even I can dream of things other than nightmares. I'm yelling, but I'm way past the point of caring about things like that. Rin looks down at her toes and wiggles them a little melancholically while she takes in my outburst without saying anything to defend herself. Only after I finish does she try to respond somehow.
I can't do anything else. Or I can do all sorts of things, but I can't do. It's the only thing I sort of do properly. Most of the time.
I understand completely. Art first, everything else second. Or thousand. What about me? Am I nothing? When I was interested in art, did that make you feel like I was a little interesting for a little while? Tell me. I really want to know. Did you ever think about my perspective? Or is it just all you? The words rise like bile in my throat. She looked alarmed, and also completely uncomprehending, as if she just doesn't understand what I'm angry about. I can't believe she could be so stupid.
I didn't want to.
This time it's Rin who interrupts herself in mid-sentence.
Don't you understand? I can't.
Can't what? You never explain. How am I supposed to understand anything if you never explain anything? Why don't you ever talk? Say something. But she doesn't. Venting my anger at her feels satisfying. It feels wrong to take out so much satisfaction in it, but I can't stop. Not wanting to face my anger head on, Rin turns around to steadfastly look out my window, even though there is nothing to look at. The worst of my ire gone, I shut up as I can't be bothered to keep on yelling at the back of her head, so silence finally returns. I try to discern some hints of her reaction through my adrenaline-distorted vision. My feedback was not the best kind, but I hope Rin got the clue that she just can't ignore everything else whenever she feels like it. I'd hate it if she didn't. She never ever listens to anything. She's so unaffected by the world around her. Not this time, it seems. Her body is shaking like from holding back tears, but I already know that Rin is not crying. Her indifference made me so furious. Now that it's gone, I'm at a loss. I wonder, did I go too far? Look,
Go away. Go away, Sal.
Her voice is tiny and tired as she says this, but I hear her words clear as day. What is there to say anymore? This is my room. The blunt, hollow remark is a fitting conclusion for this unpleasant discussion that became an even more unpleasant and very one-sided yelling match. After a moment of collecting herself, Rin just gives up. I can see from the way she slumps her shoulders and walks out. Even though she deliberately looks to the other direction, I can see how she's biting the corner of her lip so hard it might start bleeding if she won't stop. As she makes her exit, I realize that she left the door open when she came in, and my yelling must have echoed around the dorm hallways. I sigh. Now that she's gone, I am left alone with my guilt. As the thumping in my chest slowly subdues, my anxiety replaces it. Somehow I feel that none of this would have happened if not for me. No matter how infuriating, unbearable, and outrageous Rin is, she is not the Rin I thought I knew. The Rin that I expected Rin to be. Was it me who caused all this by talking Rin into taking her chances with the exhibition? Am I directly responsible for Rin becoming like she has been for the past weeks? I can't think of any other explanation for her weird behavior than the exhibition and all the things that came along with it. Maybe it was the only thing that could have brought us closer, but all it did was separate us further away from each other, and now beyond the reach of either of us. I bang my head hard against the wall, twice to make sure it hurts. Well, shit.
And it's not over yet.
Huh. I mean, to be fair, he is in the right. She did kind of use him. A headache is relentlessly thumping against the back of my head as I push open the door to the second corner. Apart from that, I'm perfectly calm. After venting on Rin all that anger that I had bottled inside, I felt great weight had been lifted from my heart. The tension that had grasped my mind for the past few weeks faded away without leaving even a shadow behind. In this nearly zen-like state of enlightenment, I realized that perhaps it was a bad idea to yell at her like that. I really meant it, but what good does blowing up like that do? Nothing. I'm not like that. I don't normally yell at people. I don't know why I did yesterday. So I keep feeling really guilty about it and wanting to take my words back. I was probably upset too, even more than my own behavior. Her reaction shocked me. I've always thought of her as an unchanging, detached from her surroundings, so that seeing my yelling get her so upset felt out of place. I wonder if she understands how I feel. In Rin's world, everything seems to be so absolute and subjective. Absolutely subjective. as if she was completely unable to see things from other points of view than her own. But ultimately, is anyone able to do it? Maybe objectively, and altruism are just illusions for people who like to think of themselves as compassionate. Just like art is an illusion for people who think reality is merely a veil for something greater. Even when you stop thinking that, the world revolves around you and start thinking outside of the mythical box, you are just inside another, bigger box that you can't escape. Maybe that, and ultimately, makes her like the rest of us.
The cream. And let me point! The cream. The cream. Oh, the cream.
Hi, Jay. How's it going?
The cream.
Thanks for the cream. Oh, no.
The cream.
They're going to beat you emotionally until the end of this route.
Well, if I was looking for a 13th reason, I stepped through the door to find the gallery full of illusion people. Hey, mother, bruh. Despite Say's remarks during my earlier visits, I always thought that it was very spacious. But now, when it's crowded like this, it looks positively cramped.
Fuck, I forgot to mention, it's National Goth Day today.
Oh. Good thing I'm streaming, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, Rin, hi. Oh, that makes me upset, though, because I didn't dress or do anything gothic besides depression. But anyway, yeah. How's it going, Jay? I immediately noticed Say standing in the middle of a lively discussion, busily chattering with some old gentleman. She's actually pretty tall and kind of cool looking, so she stands out in the crowd. There are a few dozen wine glasses laid on the tables along the back wall filled with burgundy liquid. A vast majority of the guests are sipping from their own glasses. Why do you keep calling me mother? Bruh. The socialites and... almost said socialists. And art connoisseurs are mingling happily, exchanging mild opinions about Rin's art, which seems to be a secondary objective of interest for most. I feel distance, excluded from the other people here. I can't claim, even at a stretch, to be a social chameleon, so the situation is quite unnerving. Since I don't blend into the crowd at all, I just fake that I do, trying to look as cool and smooth as I can. And failing horribly? I wonder how Rin is handling...
Said likely.
Yeah. I wonder how Rin is handling all this. If it was me, I would be quite freaked out. Because I'm the duckling to your duck. What? What?
Because ducklings are like children, so they're just saying that they're your child.
I mean...
You act like one.
Throwing the anxieties aside, I try to carefully navigate through the crowd, stealing peeks at the framed paintings now hanging on the walls. Oh. Rin's exhibition takes about half of the gallery's wall space. Some paintings are less familiar than others, but I recognize most of them. Some I've seen being created at the club meetings after all.
And let me point!
Yeah,
the cream.
Act like it.
The cream.
Again.
The cream. The cream. The cream. The cream.
Some I've seen being created at the club meetings after all, or remember from the time when Rin was choosing her portfolio. I note that a couple of the unfinished paintings are framed on the walls as well. Maybe that's what they call coincidental art? Even Rin's failures, if you can call them that, became exhibits of her skill. Quite paradoxical. She herself is nowhere to be seen, which is strange because even though it's crowded, the gallery is pretty small. It's fine, sort of. I don't know how to face her after yesterday. Maybe I shouldn't have even come. But I promised various people, Rin included, that I would, so... Damn. It sounds like I do the things I do because some kind of instinctual properness compels me to. Not because it would be sensible or not. I sneak closer to say, to wait for a lull in the conversation so I can chat her up too. Even though her voice is almost completely buried under the general background noise, I hear bits and pieces of her talking about Rin. Yes, she is a high schooler at a local school. Even though she's graduating next year, I'm sure various art schools would be interested in. I thought it'd be interesting to have an exhibition for someone who is still in early stages of development. It's so strange. It's like Rin is some kind of mini celebrity, even though this is nothing but a small exhibition opening at a small art gallery of a small town. In fact, there's a friend of mine from... All jokes aside, how is your day?
This might be...
It's Isao. Oh no, I'm worried. What is the cream from? It's it's a Randy Savage meme. It was recommended by Justa. Cause, you know, if you guys have sound alerts you want me to add.
Yeah.
Me. I feel like that's better as a Discord sound thing though. Banana.
Yeah, it is.
Banana.
Banana. Rin, I asked my boss for some more hours and I woke up today having a 30-hour work week. Oh right, Summer. Okay. Honestly, that's pretty pog that he's just like, hey, you want more hours? Fuck it, let's go.
Yeah, Macho Man Randy Savage did say that, Ayumi.
Yeah.
Mind you, it wasn't all at once. He was like doing some like promotional thing or something, like with a, I want to say wrestling. I think that's what he's in.
Yes, it is
Interview or
wrestling.
something like that. And people just took all of the best bits from him.
Which
'Cause
is
he
a
was just
heavy
talking about
breathing and cream. Yeah.
Right, the
Yeah.
top.
Yeah. I mean, how was my day? A day. Me when Pom-Pom is not a point redeem. Yeah, because it's cursed.
It's so cursed you literally have to pay Rin in order to do it.
Yeah, yeah. My eavesdropping is interrupted by a familiar voice and a familiar slap to the back. I don't need to guess the source of either, even without turning around. Hi, Emmy. Ah, fuck. Hi! Are you like... Bruh. Are you like a representative of the art club or something? I don't see anyone else from the school here. I don't know, really. I guess I am, if that's the case. What about you? What about me? You didn't think I'm interested in art? Is that it, Hisao? No, it's not that well, thanks, Jay. Unfortunately, I have 0 bits. There's a Twitch... I believe it's called Twitch RPG. You do some surveys, you get free bits. I'm a broke bitch. I'm a broke bitch too. I have bits because I do that thing. And then every so often they'll give me like 400 bits or something. No, that's not what well, maybe a little, if you put it that way. I mean, even though you hang out with Rin, I've never heard you talk about art with her, so... Emmy Huffston looks around her, looking disconnected. It's true. I don't get it all, but she came to my track meet, so I thought it's only fair I return the favor. She leans closer, trying to look confidential, but only managing to look conspiring. Do you get art? Why do I feel like that sounds more like Dora Explorer? How much is 250 bits? 250 USD? 1 bit is 1 penny? Yeah. No, I don't. At all. My emphasizing head shake draws a giggle and a cheery head shake from her own out of Emmy. Me neither. Hey, let's go talk with Rin. I bet you haven't yet because I haven't either. Come on. Before she has a chance to forcefully drag me to Rin, Nomi appears behind her with Rin in his tow. She's not dressed for the occasion, instead opting for her usual school uniform and unkempt hair. Maybe
I.e.,
her...
they were too lazy to make a different character model for her.
Why? They did that for Emmy.
I mean, they did it for Emmy, they did it for Hanako, I know that much. I'm not sure about Shizune and Misha. And I'm pretty certain they did for Lily as well?
I don't want to pay. Well then, sucks to be you. You're not getting Pomp Pomp.
That said, I think Rin does have, like, the most facial animations.
So they're just like, we'll just give her more facial expressions to really hit home the fuckery of this side thing, but everybody else will just get outfits.
Yeah. Oh, wait, they did also give her the overalls. But, like, that's it.
Like, they couldn't just... no, because if I ask for a song redeem for Pom Pom on Art Stream... But what if this makes me so depressed that I can't do streaming tomorrow?
Oh, no.
That happened last time.
Oh, no. Don't worry. It gets better. It gets better.
Draco, that shit took me out for literally 4 days.
Oh.
Maybe her natural look is what suits her best. Hello, teacher. Hi, Rin. Unfazed, Emma greets the teacher cheerfully, causing him to turn around and look down confusedly.
Who are you?
Fine, no pomp pomp. I'm Emmy from class 3-4. Don't you remember? She looks positively shocked at the prospect that there could be one person who doesn't know her.
Oh, sorry. You are in the same class as Tezuka, right? You're in the same class as Tezuka is, right?
Yeah.
You'll have to pardon me. I have trouble remembering students who don't take art.
I don't give a shit about people who aren't like me. Don't mind, don't mind. Hi, Rin.
Hello.
Congratulations for your super cool art thing. I'm sure you'll be a big hit. She throws her arms in the air for a boisterous emphasis, almost hitting me in the face. And look, Hisao came too. Rin doesn't look at me, nor does she greet me. Congratulations, Rin. She keeps averting her gaze, pointedly looking at her sandals. Oblivious to the tension between us and ignorant of what happened yesterday, Emmy keeps on blabbering about this and that to an unresponsive Rin. I guess she's used to not getting much out of her at times. Before long, Nomiya and Sei turn to Rin, introducing her. Expecting it, I catch the second of confusion when the guests see her arms. Sei is luckily on the ball with a briefly explains about our school. Doubtful faces quickly change to curious. Pomp Pomp is not worth hot goth girl mental health. No, Pomp Pomp isn't what's gonna hit me. It's not Pomp Pomp that did it.
Yep. Pomp didn't do it. It was, holy shit, this game.
I mean...
assume you want me to do the NPC voices that literally just...
Says man.
Yeah. Would you mind telling us something about your art? I thought the development is quite easily noticeable, but what do you yourself think of the differences between older and more current works? It's quite rare for someone so young to dabble into abstraction.
It would have been interesting to see how you work.
Oh, definitely. I assume you use your feet. Must have been a great trouble to learn it. You should be proud. Will you be pursuing a career as an artist after school?
She's bombarded with so many questions, she can't even hope to answer all of them. Maybe that's for the best. Rin tends to talk nonsense more than occasionally. Yet.
So where do you get your ideas?
Not gonna lie, I wouldn't blame you. I had to take a second to rethink my life when I first found that song. Yeah, it was a lot of things. And one of my friends worried.
That's the fifth worst.
Rin keeps stumbling with her words, looking for more and more vexed by the expectant inquiries. Everyone is waiting for her to say something, but she looks like the cat got her tongue. Each question piling up adds to her distress. I fail to hear the question that is the proverbial one too many. It's like a motor stalling. Rin just freezes for a long second until she falls to her knees, hitting the floor ungracefully like a sack of potatoes. Especially the salty coins. Oh my god, bruh. It's not what we're talking about, Jay, but cool. I mean, cool, I get it. Sure. Alright. Are you alright?
I don't know.
It's okay. I too get overwhelmed.
Hezuka, what's wrong, girl? I don't know what's wrong.
A terrible silence falls upon the people gathered around Rin. Everyone is petrified, not knowing how to react to her sudden seizure or something. She breathes with deep, trembling gasps as if she was running out of air, staring ahead of herself with hollow eyes. Seeing that nobody does anything, I force myself to step up to Rin and lift her up from the floor, letting her lean against me to keep standing. Would you like some fresh air? Okay, let's go outside for a bit. I don't even wait for her to answer before grasping her shoulder and pulling her past the stunned-looking Nomiya, Sei, and me and guests. Excuse us. The cool evening breeze hits my face at the door. I let go of Rin and she leans against the stone wall, trying to catch her breath. Are you alright?
I couldn't say anything.
Rin is still not looking at me, so I look away too. The street lights and color neon signs twist my vision into a blur of near blindness, forcing me to look back. Bleh. At least she talks, even if she's not directing her words to me. What did you want to say? Maybe both of us can imagine that we were talking to an invisible friend.
I don't know. Something that would have meant something.
The silence lasts for a long time. I don't feel comfortable being alone with Rin. I'm not good at imagining things that don't exist. Or that other things that don't. We should go back in. The guests I invited are in there. They probably want to meet you and talk with you. You know, ask you questions and stuff about those paintings you work so hard for.
I don't want them to ask me questions like that. I can never say the right things.
What do you want then?
Someone wouldn't have to ask questions from me. So I got a question. Before you pick, which one would you pick?
I'm in danger!
Hey, Yumi, that was so fucking perfect. I'm in danger right after you said that. But if you found someone like that, then what? I feel like it was...
If you found someone,
If you found someone like that, then what? Yeah.
go ahead and pick it.
Is that the right one?
Yes, it is the one for the good ending.
Okay. But if you found someone like that, then what? I have impeccable timing. It was great. Do you really think that it would be some kind of be-all, end-all thing? Star-crossed lovers and happily ever after? My question is met with a blank stare, and the darkness in her eyes unfazed by the thinly veiled bitterness.
No, I don't think that. But at least then I wouldn't have to be alone.
She whispers the words to the lights of the town, but I hear them anyway.
I shouldn't have done this. Not yet.
The exhibition? She nods and closes her eyes, breathing calmly out as if to prove she can, and then continues talking to herself. Why? Wrong conjunction of the planets?
No, not that. I double checked. I got up with the left foot and did everything else left. Right. It's me. I was wrong.
She stands straight and stretches before stepping past me out into the street.
No, what you're thinking is going to happen is not about to happen.
Okay. There might be star-crossed lovers, but they don't get happily ever after. Have you heard of Romeo and Juliet? Romeo and Juliet's actually not really considered a romance.
Yeah, well, no, everyone thinks it is until they read it, and then they're like, oh, it's a tragedy, like most of Shakespeare's works.
Or tragic comedy, because sometimes he'll do that.
Yeah.
Like fucking Macbeth.
No,
It's just a straight-up comedy.
You got a point, right? Like, they fall madly in love with one another, but, you know, there is no happy ever after. Because they both fucking die. Spoilers to anyone that doesn't know about the ending to Romeo and Juliet, by the way.
Ah, yes.
It's only, over 100, 200 years old?
It's at least 300.
300? I thought it was like 1800s.
Shakespeare? Shakespeare is 16... So it'd be 400 years ago.
Oh, damn, fuck. Forgive me for not actually, like... Yeah, so
I had to remind myself, the states are almost 300 years old, and Shakespeare came about 100 years before.
Yeah, okay. So, like, I didn't even know. I thought it was 1800, apparently 1600.
No,
I just checked.
Oh, happy dagger.
Yeah, so it's like 400 years. Even more egregious, may I note. 400 years old. If they don't know it by now, sucks to fucking suck.
I mean, it's referenced a lot in pop
Should I also tell them
culture.
that the Titanic sank before, like, you know...
The Titanic is a historical event that most people would have known anyway. Because, again, pop culture.
It only happened, like, you know, what is it, 100 and... It's at least over 100 years, I know that. I want to say it's 108?
124, almost?
24? I thought it was
Well,
19...
no, it's, almost 110. Because it sank in 1912, so it was 100 years in 2012, and it's gonna be... Yeah, so it's about 10... No, it's 111 right now. Since the sinking. It'll be 112 in next year.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, it was in April, so it was actually, no, it is already 113.
Yeah. 113.
Why did I say 13? I'm done. But no, already passed then, so it is the one that you said, just 12, so it's 111 even.
Mm-hmm. I mean, people that pay attention to English class know the end of Romeo and Juliet, at least in America.
Well,
I mean...
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, I mean, for anyone in chat that hasn't even hit high school, you know?
Well, but also, it's referenced so much in pop culture that even knowing the end is just basically ingrained in literally everything. Again, like the Titanic, and how, like, that shit that happens just became...
Alright, so just drink a little bit of poison. Oh no, she's quote-unquote dead, but she's actually asleep. Let's just go bury her. Oh no, she's actually dead. Romeo, you dipshit, don't drink all the poison. You just drank all the poison.
No, what?
Now you're actually for real dead. She just woke up, and she found your knife, and sees that you're dead. Gee, who can see what's gonna happen next?
We'll be right back. Oh my god.
We'll be right back. Unfortunately, neither of those two will be.
Yeah. He also had he also technically had a girlfriend before he met her too. It was her cousin. And then he was like, Juliet seems way better. Let's go for that, and yeah. Anyway. Wait, where are you going? She stops on her tracks and turns around, looking at me quizzically.
School. I'm leaving.
Join us next time for Juliet Z. Why? Bro.
Because I want to be me.
Rin walks off, leaving me behind, utterly confused. Rin! But something she said really touched me. Or maybe it was the way she said it. Maybe it was the fact that she said it. I want to say something back to her before I forget this feeling again. As if granting me a wish, Rin stops in her tracks. She doesn't turn around, just keeps waiting for me to say what I want to, even though I didn't have time to think what. Rin, listen, I don't believe you have to be alone, even if you never meet anyone like that. I don't know if she heard my words, but either way, she didn't react in any way. For the final time, she starts walking away from the gallery.
So, where's Tezuka?
Next time on Juliet Z, she's dead. I can only shake my head, but
Let's roll for 30 minutes.
But as it doesn't seem to be a sufficient answer, I have to say something. She ran away.
What?
The horrific expression spreads on his face like wildfire.
This is a fiasco. Catastrophe. What is that girl thinking? The most important event of her life, and she just runs off? And you. Why didn't you stop her? I'm going to hold you personally responsible.
Okay, but she got overwhelmed. Like, dude, at least let her go and, like, I don't know, run around the city a bit. Say interrupts him, holding her hands up commonly. It's good she intervened. The teacher was starting to get a few weird looks from the nearby guests. Now, Shinchi. She probably just had a stage fright. I don't know her as well as you people do, but I get that the image she is somewhat peculiar. This kind of thing can happen. They'll be fine. I'll explain that she suddenly became ill. The guests will surely understand.
But
Look around you. Everyone seems to be rather happy with their free wine and chit-chat.
the guests will be fine, but we are missing on opportunities here. Networking, making contacts and acquaintances.
Okay, but I get her too. It's fucking hard, okay?
It is hard, and secondly, may I just note, who the fuck was she gonna be communicating with?
Right? Right?
What connections is she making?
Like, whomst?
People know who she is now, okay? Like, that's the point.
They vaguely know who she is. Like,
They
yeah.
vaguely know who she is, she's on the greeting card and everything like that, and they'll recognize her work and who's associated with it. That is basically what would have happened out of this anyway.
Yeah. She would have maybe
She was
met,
not
like...
talking to fucking anyone.
Yeah, like, he was talking to literally anyone that would have given her an opportunity, and she obviously would not be handling it very well. And as someone who has been to networking functions, fuck me, is it hard. As the adults keep arguing about something that can't be helped, Emmy tugs at my sleeve to get my attention. She doesn't look very happy either. Come on. Come on. Where? We're going to find Rin and kick her ass. What? I can't believe it. She's so stupid. That Rin, how could she do this? I'm telling you, she doesn't have a bit of common sense in her head. She had anxiety. She was overwhelmed. Emmy is seriously...
Nymphomaniac's too fucking dumb to realize that.
is seriously angry, only missing steam rising from her ears. I guess I understand Emmy. She is that kind of person. Give up has never felt like part of her vocabulary, and maybe she feels it shouldn't be a part of anyone's vocabulary. It's probably best to leave her alone for tonight. What? Are you a Rin expert now? I mean...
And you claim you yourself are? You didn't even know she didn't see you as a friend. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, right? It's almost like you didn't actually care about her and her feelings. She takes a firm stance and puts her hand on her hips confrontingly. It's like she wants to pick a fight with me, too. No, I don't think that's even possible in the first place. I just don't think kicking her ass would do her any good. My melancholic remarks surprisingly works as Emmy slumps her shoulders a little in sighs. I know that. You do. The last time I did that, it changed nothing.
So she did.
Huh.
That may be one of the reasons.
Yeah, I could see that. The ride back to school in an empty late-night bus is silent. Both of us keep staring at the lights flashing past the windows without saying a word. The nightly grounds are quiet, lit only by the wan moon and yellow lampposts. We say our goodnights in front of my dormitory. Emmy, reflectively clenching her fists, compels me to ensure that she won't assault Rin the moment I let her out of my sight. Promise me not to not go scold her. She looks up at me, her eyes flaring with anger. Oh. Hello, Maro. How's it going?
Hey, Maro, you made it just in time.
Ready for a depression? I match with a calming stare. As I can. The only it's only easy to face an angry woman if you're not the target of her ire. Good help. Wait, what did you say, Emmy? What her fist? Oh, she's about to go beat up Rin because she left. She left her art gallery. Just stopping by for a moment before we leave for Grandma's. Oh, hell yeah! I'm glad you're enjoying your trip, Maro. Hell yeah. After a minute of the mismatched staring contest, she sighs and shakes her head in defeat. You're too nice, Isao. Did you know that? Hints of a smile are tugged at the corners of her mouth as she says that she seems a lot more relaxed. What a sudden change in mood. Maybe she wasn't as angry as it seemed to begin with. Maybe her moods change easily. Mm-hmm. Thanks, phone. If I was, I wouldn't have let you have your way. Does that mean you are only nice to Rin? Both of us are hiding our concern behind empty jokes, but at least it puts me in a good mood. Emmy wiggles her eyebrows with a half-amused smirk, trying to push my buttons. Not gonna work. Okay. Think we're about to go. Have a nice rest of the stream. Thanks for stopping by, Maro. We'll see you around. Oh, is that your phone? It was. Yeah. I looked around for my phone. Yeah, that was mine letting me know one of the people I follow are streaming right now.
Have a good one, Maro. I'd say to pass on my greetings, but I don't know any of these people, and they'd find it weird that some internet stranger is saying hi to them.
Oh, it was just Sunflower. It was just letting me know that Sunflower was streaming.
Huh.
Emmy wiggles her eyebrows with a half-amused smirk and trying to push my buttons. Not gonna work. No, it just means I'm not nice only to you. Hey! Good night, Emmy.
It's nice to see the mural, like, right in front of the dorms. Kind of as a reminder of where it all started.
Mm-hmm. It is actually kind of nice, but also the shit show that's just happening. The last day before summer vacations is waning slowly. Science is the final exam of the trimester, and then we're free. The collective yearning for liberty is almost palpable. in the classroom, even though the weather seems a tad cloudy. It might rain today. Who knows? I've already finished the test because it was pretty easy, so I'm doodling lazily on the flip side of the paper.
Look at Emmy.
Waiting for Mutao to call the time. The fucking little... Alright, I'm liking these little doodles. Oh my god.
Emmy with tank treads.
Yeah, that was the first one I saw. There's also Kenji with the fucking ruffle under his, under him.
Yeah, he's also the flower.
Oh my god. It also prevents Misha from trying to covertly look at my answers over my shoulder. Bruh. She might fool the inattentive teacher, but I can tell that she is trying to look.
Oh yeah, the little block Emmy down there in the corner.
Yeah.
And
A little block cat, though. I guess it's her best bet at passing the test. Doesn't make me feel any mercy, though, so I just ignore her and look around me. It's quiet. The only sounds in the classroom are the quiet shuffling of papers and Muto's distant coughing, or constant coughing. It makes my awareness of the surroundings slowly drift to the backstage of consciousness, giving room to other things. Vacation, huh? Some people will stay at the school even over the holidays. Some will go back to their families. I don't know what to do. I should go buy a train ticket from my trip back home, but I can't bring myself to do it. I am going to get a call from home again. Mom's going to pester me about when I'm coming back, and I'm not going to know what to answer. This is really lousy. In the current state of things with Rin, it feels like I can't just bail out of here and pretend we are through. And now she has other problems of her own. I thought that the exhibition opening would give her a breather, but I was sorely mistaken. The tangle just seems to thicken. A sharp knock on the door interrupts the quiet but frantic mood of the last 15 minutes of the exam.
come in.
I like those doodles. Those doodles were great. The opening door reveals the art teacher, who steps in with his jacket swirling around him, as though in a gust of wind. He glances
Art
at
and science, two conflicting sides of the same coin.
Yeah, actually. He glances at Mutao, who glances back at him. I mean, if it weren't for science, we wouldn't get a lot of paints. But if it weren't for art, we wouldn't get science. A frown spreads simultaneously on both their faces as the men measure each other with their gazes. Oh, okay. They hate each other. Got it.
Excuse me, but could I borrow Mr. Nakai for a moment? Excuse me, Mr. Nomiya, but we are in the middle of an exam here.
He's just gonna point at the thing. Like, he's fucking done, dude. A chilly atmosphere suddenly spreads in the middle of summer afternoon as the two men try to stare each other down.
This is urgent, and it seems that Nakai has already finished.
Both men turn to look at me, staring at me like a pair of basilisks trying to petrify a tasty snack. It's true that I've been idle for a good while now, so Nomiya is right, but...
Nakai, would you like to check your answers one more time?
Mutao being like, nah. I'm back, had to go buy groceries. No worries, Jack, no worries. Mutao speaks with an odd intonation, weighing certain words as if trying to send a message. The pressure from their stares make me rapidly shake my head, which is apparently interpreted as an answer of some sort.
Very well. Nakai, go with Mr. Nomiya, if you please.
What the fuck was this interaction about?
Take your bag with you and bring your test paper to my desk. You have a nice vacation.
You too, teacher. The entire world, well, at least the classroom, seems to hold its breath just for me, putting the exam on hold until I stand up, collect my stuff, and walk out the door. I can feel the stares in the back of my neck. My classmates probably think I'm in for some detention or something, on the last day of school before summer vacation. I don't know what the teacher wants from me, but I can guess it probably not detention, and also, it probably has something to do with Rin again. Nomiya doesn't take me anywhere, contenting himself with the hallway as it's completely abandoned.
Do you know where Tezuka is?
Oh, this is worse. So she is trying to avoid the teacher. Part of the course, probably. I wonder if she realizes that she can't avoid dealing with this indefinitely. I have no idea. You have probably asked in her homeroom next door.
Of course I have. I've searched every nook and cranny of this blasted school and the girls' dorm. You are the last one to see her since yesterday, and you are her friend? Work with me here. Aren't you worried?
I am, but I don't know what I could do. Rin did something incomprehensible yesterday, even for her. She seemed really confused. Maybe she just wants some time to think then. I got a feeling that she had second thoughts about having that exhibition. Or something. She really didn't explain what was wrong.
What second thoughts?
I don't know, just got that feeling. I'm being a little dishonest with the teacher, but this is not something I should be meddling with. He came to me. Yes, why? Maybe he thinks I'm some kind of confidant in Rin's, but I don't think I can help with this matter. The teacher huffs and scratches his head in confusion.
What's up with that girl? This is so unlike her. She's always been so goal-driven.
Goal-driven? Those don't really strike me as words to describe Rin with.
It's almost as if he completely misread the situation from back to front from the very beginning.
It's almost like he projected his ideals of what he thought of her onto her and tried to stuff her into a box of what he thinks she should be.
Exactly. Holy fuck. It's like this guy's actually a dumbass. This is probably why the science teacher doesn't like him too much. It's like, alright, here's logic and oh, fuck, not this guy.
Yeah, basically. To me, she always felt obsessive at best. I don't mean to be rude, but wasn't it you who pushed Rin to do that direction in the first place?
Her goal is my goal. That is a mentor's job.
But did she ask you to be her mentor? I guess so. I just don't know if painting can make her happy.
That's pretty preposterous of you to say, Nakai.
No, it almost sounds like you don't understand how Rin is feeling, but okay. He suddenly sounds pretty, irate. Did I say something stupid? No, he has been. He just doesn't want to understand logic.
You don't understand, do you? It is not a question of happiness. For every gain, there is a sacrifice to be made. There is no free lunch, but would I let that girl waste away her attention if she has a moment of doubt? Never. Painting is work just like any other. Tezuka might make it look like child's play to you, but she works hard every day to make her art. Become extraordinary, one has to make an extraordinary effort.
The more the teacher talks, the more I feel that Rin doesn't think like that, even though I have no idea how she thinks.
I can very well understand why she would sacrifice her summer vacation and make up for the lost classes and exams to get a chance at showing her art. This is a path she has taken. And to go all that way, that's not easy. I know she is young, and things are hard for her, just like all the kids here in this school. But that's no excuse.
He is finished. But
Do you have anything
thank you for
like
the head
what
pats,
art
dear.
hat is to Tezuka?
No. That's right. I have only vague ideas of my future. No goal to shoot for, no dream to blindly reach for. I joined the art club in search of something I could be interested in, to get inspired by. Did I find something like that? All I found in the end was Rin. No, I don't have a passion like that.
Then you can't understand.
His flat statement allows no counter-argument. But she might not understand even herself. Still, I carry on arguing out of spite, if nothing else.
How could she not? She's been at it so hard for the past few weeks, she put off even coming to school. Not to say anything about attending class. Don't be ridiculous.
I don't think I'm being ridiculous, but as I have no rebuttal, Nomiya seems to consider this one his win.
At any rate, the opening was quite successful despite Tezuka hardly showing up. Many people are interested in her work, and one piece was even sold for a reasonable price.
Well, that's nice, isn't it?
Yes, it's fantastic news. I hope that Tezuka would come to her senses when she heard about this, but...
Hello, JJ. I'm a little late, but how are you doing better? Yes, I am. How are you doing? He sighs and takes off his glasses, cleaning them against his jacket before putting them on his nose again.
At any rate, I should be going. There is this mess to be settled with Sei and everyone.
The cream.
If you
And
see
let me
Tezuka,
point.
Hold on.
The cream. The cream.
The cream is like...
The cream. The cream. The cream.
Alright, you're good.
Okay. If you see Tezuka, please ask her to come see me. Otherwise, have a nice vacation.
The cream. Thanks, Chair. Thanks. After he disappears around the corner, I ponder where Ring could really be. It feels like she has not one, but at least half a dozen of these secret places. I bounce between the desire to solve this tangle or to drop it for good. The disused classroom is just a few feet away. What to do? I push open the door. Only the shadows greet me from inside. Hey there. She's standing in the middle of the sunlit room, peering through the gaps of the curtains out into the yard. Did she hide behind a curtain? Like so often before, she doesn't start or jump, but just calmly waits for me to make the first move. It is as if she's trying to become a permanent part of the furniture. Teacher's looking for you. Remember, we would have the cream streams? Just spam cream? That sometimes happens, but I think when it comes to, like, games like this, it's just like, you know, people be reading. A blank look over her shoulder is all I get, accompanied by the cryptic non-expression on her face.
Are you looking for me too?
Nah, I already found you, didn't I?
Did you?
She furrows her brow, looking so puzzled that it makes me wonder if the question was asked in all seriousness. Maybe it was. Are you talking metaphorically now?
Do you mean like eels, caves, and dark, stormy nights?
That's a metaphor.
I'm bad at talking like that.
I'm into the story, so yee. The abruptly ended greetings give me the chance to close the door behind me and sit down on a dust-covered desktop. Rin stays standing, but at least she turns around. I soon wish she didn't, though. So oppressive in her expectant stare. This is her place, and I'm an intruder, although a tolerated one. Despite that, she still waits for me to say something. If only I knew what. The sunlit silence presses me towards decisions. I came here without really thinking what I would do, apart from delivering Nomiya's short message in case Rin was here. She was, and now I don't know what else I want to say. What else should I say? I hover between my two options for a moment. Rin being troubled troubles me too. It's a surprising revelation, almost as big as realizing that she really is troubled was. What? Nothing I can do would probably help, and I might be partially to blame too. Doesn't mean I should just wash my hands of her. I don't think so. So, what's wrong?
Nothing.
She starts to turn away again, as if trying to physically exit a conversation she doesn't want to have. Rin, stop trying to dodge me, or I'll leave.
Okay.
Do you want me to leave?
Are you still angry?
It took us, or was it only me, 10 seconds to swap the conversation into this. I wish we could erase the past, or failing that, forget all about that. I've wished for that more than once, in at least a few months. Let's put that aside for the time being, alright?
If you say so.
I do. So, what's wrong? Sei and Nomiya were not too happy that you just ran off yesterday. You left them in quite a pinch, and I suppose the teacher wants some kind of an explanation. It seems like you just threw everything you had worked for, and I don't get why.
Did I make a mistake?
My reprimanding and her flat answer goes so much against the usual expectations and presumed interactions that it might just as well be somebody else talking. Neither of us is like we used to be. The stiff, constricting feeling I get every time I look at Rin nowadays seems to be mirrored in her own behavior. I hate things that go irreparably wrong. Ever since February, I've hated them. What can I say? Her question is trailed by a compelling, quizzical stare that makes me sigh and frown. Conversations nobody wants to have are the worst. I don't know. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but probably was pretty stupid. She responds with a sigh of her own, although hers is not nearly as heavy as mine was.
It just couldn't do it.
But why? What's wrong? A pause and a furrowed brow. A quiet voice.
Let it be, Sal. I don't think I can really explain it in a way that would make sense.
Yeah, Rin doesn't want to have this conversation either. Maybe for the better. But how rare of her to admit that even she has some kind of limits. I always thought Rin was all but ignorant of her tendency to get distracted, so much that she inadvertently
Obfuscates.
everything she says. Goddamn. You never explain anything in a way that would make sense.
Nobody else has ever asked me to.
I guess that's how it is. But I always wanted to make sense of you, to find out who you are. I still want to. Can't you see? I know you can't, but I do. Is that why I keep this up? Pains you as much as it pains me. It's unlikely to be of any use to either. We did things and said things that can't be undone. It's as if you and me being close to each other just hurts us both, but we still deliberately keep going, keep doing it. Isn't that silly? Even now I can see how you force yourself to respond even though you owe me nothing. Even if it's hard to talk about things like this. Why? Why is it that you paint?
Because I don't know what else I could do. It's like this feeling that there is no choice, that it's the only possibility. Like when there are only watermelon-flavored popsicles left in the store, but you need to eat a popsicle.
Her poor metaphor aside, she didn't really answer anything. If possible, this makes it even less sense not knowing. But if you don't want to paint...
Not like that. You had to come to the school, even though you probably didn't want to have a heart attack.
She pauses, frowning as if something in what she said didn't please her.
At least, I think you wouldn't.
Her careful follow-up is followed in turn by another shorter pause with another smaller frown.
Would you like to have a heart attack?
No, I wouldn't. I didn't want to.
But you're doing fine, aren't you? Or are you still sad about it?
Rin's question makes me realize that I haven't really thought about my illness for weeks. Aside from chugging down my medication every day, there has been no need to concern myself with my broken heart, which I'm only thankful for, really. Getting to know new people, a new school, a new town, a new life. It all has caught me and made the past fade away. No, I guess even I can't dwell on the past indefinitely.
See? Even watermelon doesn't really taste bad if you have to eat it.
Her half-nonsensical closure seems to put an end to the subject in Rin's mind, so I just nod in uncertain confirmation. There are two kinds of silences. Awkward ones that you want to break, and comfortable ones that you don't mind. The first kind is bad, because it makes your thoughts go awry, like mine do now. Looking at Rin makes me feel bad. I don't want to feel like this. Looking at Rin makes me feel exhausted. I really tried my best. She tried too. I have no idea. But we ended up like this, and she ended up screwing up her exhibition opening. It feels like we were at a dead end. There was no direction to continue, too. I reached out for her yesterday, thinking it would be the last time. She walked away. I want to be me. What the heck does that even mean? Rin, if anyone, is most definitely herself. I feel kind of relieved that I am not the one to blame, but this still grates my mind. Why'd she run away? It didn't make sense yesterday. It doesn't make sense today. The things she said feel like they should make sense, but they just don't to me. You know, about the thing you just said.
Oh, which one of them?
Painting. Say said something like that to me before. That a true artist does not paint because she wants to, but because she must. And I've been wondering about what she said. Why do artists have to paint? My question is probably pretty stupid. At least Rin looks at me in the blank way that seems to say so.
I don't know. Am I an artist?
Well, you paint stuff and you have an exhibition too. I'd say you qualify.
I think I still don't know. But okay.
The thinking pause that follows seems to be the last for half an eternity. Unlike most people, Rin doesn't flavor her thinking pauses by body language or saying like or anything. I've noticed that I might prefer her way. The usual way even annoys me, as if people were so infatuated by the sound of their own voice that they have to keep making some noise even when they are just thinking what they could say next. Rin just comes to a full stop while she's thinking. It's disconcerting, because reacting to people spacing out is always hard, but she comes off as less obnoxious.
I think I want someone to see what's inside me. The way doctors and serial killers do. The way that doesn't make me feel lonely. This is what you call metaphorical, you see.
Please don't lecture me about self-evident things.
It's not self-evident that this is self-evident.
So you present a painting to someone and expect him to magically see a glimpse of your soul?
It's not like that. It's just a little like that, but not really. Don't you understand?
I do, and I don't. You know, I feel a little bit of despair every time you ask that question.
Ooh, what question?
But whether I understand you or not. She seems almost surprised at my clarification.
Oh, it's not really a question. It's one of those kind that you don't have to answer.
Rhetorical?
Yeah, that's the word. A question that is not a question is a rhetorical question. How nice. That reminds me. It doesn't really make sense. What kind of question is one that isn't a question?
A rhetorical one?
What kind of answer is an answer that doesn't answer anything?
Is that a rhetorical question?
You are not funny.
Brr.
But if you don't like it, would you like me to say something else instead? I don't have any good ones, though. How about your pants are on fire? This can be our sacred language.
Rin's honest-to-goodness silliness made twice more ridiculous by the fact that I knew she is dead serious. Derails me like it always does. It's like some kind of safety lock to prevent me from becoming too much of a worrywart, dragging even my own thoughts off the ground where they should be. It makes me smile confusedly, but only on the inside. Even though the corners of my mouth are not drawing into a grin, I'm still impressed by her ease of wrecking any attempt at being too serious. Should she will so, forget and ignore things that bug her, things that bother her? Should she will so, be free of whatever burden being her means? Or am I the only one who feels burdened by being myself? No thanks. But still, the times when I feel that I am on the same page as you are pretty rare. It feels like there is this huge gap, and sometimes you just go to the other side, and I don't have any way to reach to you from where I am. It's like you're in some completely different place at times, even though you're right there. That's right. There's an insurmountable discontinuity, an imaginary glass wall that blocks comprehension from happening. There might be such a gap between any two people, but with Rin, it feels more tangible. Rin does not react to my thoughts, not to the ones I utter aloud, nor the ones I did not. It's even worse with art. I'm not very good at art. I admit it. Okay. I joined the art club because I thought it could be interesting. And I guess it is. I like art. I like your art too, but just like with you, I can't comprehend it. And I'm pretty sure nobody really can. This seems to worry her slightly.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I guess that art is meant to be interpreted, not understood. That's how would I put it.
That's a sad thought.
I guess it might feel like one. Does it make you feel sad for yourself? Rin thinks about it for a while and then shakes her head, surprisingly vehemently. The first thing she focuses her eyes on afterwards is me. Both of these things make me feel glad and relieved. It's good, isn't it? Anyway, you should go see the teacher and apologize properly. I think he's worried about you. Can you do that? This time she nods her head. Only it's not as vehement. The hallway is empty, almost intimidating. Nomiya's office is the art classroom at the other end of the third-floor hallway. Our steps echo disturbingly, and the atmosphere is unlike on a normal afternoon. Feels like the school knows that nobody will be coming back for months, for a month too. The door is open, but not very inviting. I'll wait outside. Nodding barely noticeable, Rin strides in without stopping, and naturally without knocking. obviously.
I
Maybe
mean, she could kick the base of the door.
at that point she's just better off kicking the door open. Maybe that's why it takes a few seconds before I hear the teacher's voice from inside.
There you are. Hello.
A conflict arises. Should I stay here or go somewhere else? I'm not sure if I even want to eavesdrop on them. Manners lose to curiosity, and so I stay close enough to listen in. Their voices echo in the hallway, but no matter. There is nobody around, save for me.
Dear girl, what on earth were you thinking leaving on like that on the big night? I couldn't say anything.
Compared to Nobia's scolding tone, Rin sounds awfully quiet and withdrawn. Her words seem to drown under his.
I have to say I'm very disappointed in you, Tezuka. It was no good at all. Never mind all the things I did for you, but what about Sei? What about all the guests who wanted to meet you?
Yell at me.
There was nobody. Even Hisao. You have embarrassed us very badly, Tezuka.
Sounds like someone's projecting.
Reputation is what counts. Surely you know that?
No, she does not.
It's alright. I don't need it. Don't need... What do you think you know?
Rin's replies only seem to agitate the teacher more, his voice rising with every sentence.
The path of an artist is a thorny one. I'll tell you that. Thorny. You have to see the big picture. There will be bad times and good times. Things are like they are. It'll be alright. Even... You might now think that it's oh so wonderful and easy, but how far would you have gone without me? I won't always be there for you. When you lie on the floor of your minuscule room, your rent 3 weeks late, your mind blank for the 4th week straight, then you will wish you would listen to old Nomi a bit more. You keep measuring how your the shadow of your chair becomes longer over the spring because that's all your lethargy allows. Maybe that's when you'll start caring about your career.
I had a teacher do that to me once. I had to try so hard not to tell her I wasn't going to use her as a reference. And I was just required.
That doesn't matter. Your resolve is not enough. I'm not a resolved person. You are not a resolved person. Then tell me, why did we go through all this trouble if it amounts to a mosquito shit?
Oh dear, the teacher blew a fuse. Him yelling at Rin makes me feel bystander's guilt. If I had gone with her, maybe he wouldn't have gotten so angry. If I had not let her run away, he wouldn't have gotten angry in the first place. I still could go and save her. I don't think I can. I was the same. I yelled at Rin too. I'm feeling all the more embarrassed about it now. I felt justified to vent my anger at her face just because I felt it was her fault that I was so frustrated. I was no more justified than the teacher is. A terrible silence sets upon the hallway. Rin does not have anything to say to Nomiya. Whether she has run out of answers or she knows that arguing would only make him angrier is anyone's guess. The teacher has nothing more to say either, it seems, or maybe he just ran out of breath. For a moment I imagine the two of them just staring at each other, one full of red-hot anger, the other full of... yes, what? I can't tell how Rin feels. Not before. Not now. Teacher seems to expect Rin to say something too, but since she doesn't, he finally continues in a quieter but not less angrier voice.
What worth is there in doing so much work if the outcome is nothing?
But the outcome didn't come up to nothing. One of her paintings got sold, and people were excited to see it again. Still, Rin will not say anything. Yeah, because guess who's projecting?
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have gotten so excited.
He doesn't sound sorry at all. Rather, his tone is cold and sharp, like he was spitting the words out of his mouth. Alright, time to sleep. Good night. Night, Jared. Thank you for the head pets.
There. It seems that I was expecting too much. You are not an artist after all.
Dude, she's a high schooler. Give her a break. Yeah, not sorry at all. He storms out of the club room and down the stairs without noticing me. After he is gone...
Bro, that's a ramp. It should be a ramp because it's in a fucking disabled school.
Oh, the main hall, or the main area had, stairs as well. Could be both.
I mean, they could have had an elevator nearby, though. But this is clearly a ramp, even in the image.
Yeah, but this image is also very clearly Photoshopped, so, like...
I mean, it's...
And it's supposed to be...
Yes, but it's also a ramp with, like, handrails.
True. After he's gone, I peek carefully inside the classroom. Rin is left standing there in front of the teacher's desk.
I couldn't say I'm sorry.
She says it into the humid air of the classroom, not to me. But since the room won't answer her, I will have to. That was unfair of him. He was angry, but still.
I love the flip tool.
It's great. I can't decide how to end my sentence. Disdaining the teacher feels like disdaining my own behavior from 2 days ago. Stupid, but correct in hindsight. Rin won't answer, staying petrified where she stands, so I walk up to her. She stood up for herself. In a way, I didn't expect that. I can't determine whether it's unbecoming or not, but either way, she did it. Against me, she never did. I sort of wish she had. Maybe I would not feel this bad then. Lately, it really seems that I've been wishing for all kinds of things. Rin?
Go away.
Why? What are you saying?
You're angry with me too, right? I thought you were my friend. I thought he was too.
Her voice is unlike I've ever heard it. It's bitter, sharp like needles, and she keeps staring pointedly at her toes. I don't think it's about that. He wanted you to become something you're not, and... I take a deep breath and finally catch her eyes on my own, locking her gaze. I'm sorry. I wanted us to be something else too. More than friends. Maybe that's why I couldn't contain myself and became so frustrated, just like the teacher did.
What more? There is nothing more to me than me. That's all I am. I don't understand that.
Well, the answer should be obvious, right? I remember myself thinking of the purpose of friendship, to put up with everything and anything, to be there for your friend. Did I fail as a friend? Thinking it could be a stepping stone for something else? Maybe because of those thoughts, I didn't manage to put up with things to keep it together. As outrageous as Rin is, I shouldn't have let myself get caught in that, especially when I started feeling the way I did towards her. So did I fail? That's what her eyes seemed to ask. I'm sorry, Rin. I might not be able to be your friend. I don't think I could ever be a good friend to you. I say these things because they're true, not because one of us would like to hear them. But they are something that must be said. The finality of my words creates a shaking silence for what could either of us add to that.
Why? Why does this all happen? or doing things I don't ask for, I don't want. Everyone keeps getting angry with me. I have no idea what's going on anymore, and I can't stop feeling like I want to run away from everything.
She shuts her eyes tight and breathes out deeply, calmly. When the eyelids open, all I can see is dark green desperation.
I have no idea what's wrong with me.
Her frenetic outburst stupefies me for a moment, and for a heartbeat, we just gaze into each other's face. Seeing her confused eyes desperately looking for answers from mine only makes me sad because I know I have none. I don't know either. But you yourself said that things are not right nor wrong. They just are. You either accept them, work to change them, or give up. It's not that I hate you, or that Teacher Nomiya does. It's just, I think that I'm the kind of person who gives up when he feels he can't go on. And even if you hate it, this is how things are. I'm saying pretty cruel things, but I can't stop myself. The words keep rolling off my tongue with slow, hard certainty. I can see them hitting Rin almost like physical blows. As the wetness gathers in the corners of her eyes, they are still wide with the shock of rejection. As the tears start rolling down her pale cheeks, she does nothing to stop them. As they fall down on the floor one by one, she stands still, staring at me with a gaze full of hollow disbelief. But reality catches up. Rin slumps forward as if she was deflating and buries her face as deep into my shirt as she can. Rin is heavy and feather light when I support her weight. She doesn't really sob or bawl, just leans against me, letting her tears burn through my shirt into the skin underneath. And I let her, bringing my hand around her shoulders in a clumsy hug that does no good to comfort her. I can feel Rin's vertebrae against my fingertips, just like hard and jagged reminders of how messed up things are. Her slim shoulder quivering against my palm is a pitiable sight, and the helplessness of being part of the cause for Rin's sadness keeps shredding my heart. To make a girl cry is the most despicable thing to do. Even Rin, especially Rin. Behind that veil of aloofness, Rin is just a human being too. Just as confused, scared, and lost as any of us is. Most of the time it seems that there are no rhyme or reason for what Rin does and says, but for once, I think I really understand how she feels. But no words can express it, and no words can make it better. So wordlessly we stay, quietly waiting for her tears to run out. Time passes agonizingly slow. Even the lazy speck of dust floating in the air seemed to pause into a standstill. The obligatory wall clock is ticking distractingly from above the door. I decide against counting the seconds, because it would make them feel longer. Eventually Rin stirs a little, and, still smothering herself against my chest, mutters into my shirt.
Be here for a while. Please, Sal. Just give me a little while.
A soothing deluge spreads into my consciousness, the knowledge that, while being here for Rin is all I can do for her, that's all she wants right now, even after all we've gone through. Sure. So she stays there, but I still can't bring myself to draw her closer, so I can embrace her properly. It's because doing it would just make me so sad that I don't know if I could bear it. The realization we might never really be able to become what we want to be for the other crystallizes in my mind as a diamond-hard entanglement. A pang.
Enlightenment.
Listen, my throat is decaying right now. A pang surges through my heart like an electric shock. It's painful. This clarity hurts. Why can't we be for each other? What meaning is there for us so desperately cling to each other, even though it seems so futile? What should I say to Rin? How can I make her feel better? I don't know any of those things, and I fear knowing them would only hurt more. Forcefully, I push all of that out of my mind because I don't want to be thinking of hurtful truths. My thoughts calm down soon enough. The sadness disperses until all that is left is me and Rin and the tender feeling of her warmth and softness against my chest. When did I fall in love with her? I can't remember, but I'm certain it was way before the warm touch of her lips on my own, on that orange-colored afternoon when she was sick with a cold and I went to see her because of unclear reasons. Her carefree attitude, the air of nonsense or of otherness around her, all the things that make Rin herself, those things captured me with irresistible force. The way she could take in anything and everything, giving it only the value she herself placed, weighing all things fairly and without prejudice, seeing the world as she wanted. This is something I can never do, and Rin was probably more of a muse to me than anything ever was to her. She seemed so free to me, truly a free spirit, while I, constantly worrying about everything, seemed so inhibited that it was almost embarrassing. Maybe that's why I latched so tightly onto Rin, trying to get inside her world that was so different from my own bleak life. Before I noticed it, that irresistible force had pulled me dangerously close to her, but it turned out to be way too alien for me. And I had forgotten Newton, of all things. The gravitational force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the objects. Really? Newton, of all things. So if two people feel something for each other, even though feelings are not governed by the consistence of the universe, I can't help thinking that for some time now, I've been a satellite to Rin's brightly shining planet. Planet Rin. The thought makes me almost laugh. She really does seem to be from another planet at times, minus green skin and possibly some tentacles.
Hey, what those tentacles do, though?
Bruh. Hey, yo. Perhaps because of my stifled laughter, Rin pulls away and I let her go, feeling the cold when her warmth goes away, and slight embarrassment for letting my thoughts run wild like that. I credit that as Rin being a bad influence on me, while being glad that at the same time that she can't read thoughts for real. Rin's bitter tears have dried up, and she looks a little more like herself again. The lost look in her eyes is still there, though. Her gaze wanders around restlessly before stopping at me.
What happened just now? Can you tell me?
What? What do you mean?
I cried.
She says that hesitantly, as if not believing in herself. Yes. She keeps staring at me as if pleading guidance so that she wouldn't have to feel so lost.
Why?
You were sad. Is that what you want me to say? But isn't it obvious?
I don't know. It feels weird to cry.
What? I don't believe it. I mean, everyone does that. It's not... I bite my tongue before I finish my argument about normality. Norms do not apply to the person I'm talking to.
I always felt so wrong. Different from what is in me. Like, I couldn't really tell what I felt. So I started thinking that maybe I don't know what I'm feeling. Maybe it's me who's wrong. I thought those kinds of things. I thought that painting was enough. Because I felt that I did that at least right. That all that is inside of me could become a picture if I really tried hard. And it could. But it doesn't feel like it's enough anymore. Because if nobody else can see that, I would still be alone. Was it wrong to try? Everyone got real angry at me for it.
I've rarely heard Rin say this much at once before. When she finishes...
Especially coherently. It's usually in those big blocks where it's confusing as fuck.
Mm-hmm. When she finishes, she simply shuts up, looking so neutral that it's hard to believe she just said what she did. I don't know what to think. Rin was desperate for someone to look at her paintings and somehow see right through them into her soul, to understand her feelings. Because she felt she could not express them in any other way? How can one say whether that is right or wrong? Could it be that all this time she's been trying to reach out to me like I've tried to reach out to her? I sit down on a desk to think and to rest my legs that keep us both standing for a long while. You know, when I read a good book or look at a starry sky or whatever, sometimes I too feel something profound, like a shot, or I don't know how to describe it. But the instant I try to put it into words...
Cream.
Hello, Corgi, how's it going?
The cream.
God damn it.
The cream. Oh. The cream.
Yeah.
Immediately cream.
The cream.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, Corky.
I feel that I lose something. It doesn't feel as real, as true as it did inside my head. Good, how are you? Pretty alright. Going through this game, although my voice is just like, dies. It feels...
Not much further if you want to know that much at least. There's not that much further.
Oh. Maybe at least for a break to fill my water. Feels a bit phony. Damn. Even what I just said felt phony. Or maybe tea. I think tea might actually help my throat a bit better. I offer a smile that is meant to be between funny and self-deprecating, but Rin doesn't react. Anyway. I know this fan is quite popular, but I've never read it. Be prepared to fucking feel. It is good. There's a reason it is quite popular. I still don't get why Twitch doesn't have it as a category, but like it should.
It's not banned on Twitch, but at the same time, yeah.
I feel like it's maybe, well, I don't want to say because it's niche, but it's also like maybe because of how old it is. I feel like
because it is like 11 years old.
Yeah. And, well, 11 years old.
And some users on Twitch.
True. That and it's niche as fuck, too. It might be that nobody can ever express their true feelings so that others understand. Reality has no chance of living up to what someone has inside their head. Nothing can match that. Not even your paintings. Except maybe for you. But I suppose you can't keep everything inside. You'd explode for real then. What I'm trying to say is, I don't think it's wrong to express your feelings, even if you use painting as your conduit. You just can't expect people to understand you any better than they would if you did it any other way. In fact, you can't expect people to understand you at all. it's because everything is so subjective. You see the world the way you do, but it's different from everyone else.
But isn't that terrible?
I guess it is in a way. She frowns, looking probably as stricken as she can, which is not much, but it's enough for me to understand that Rin is not particularly happy.
I think it might make me sad after all.
Yeah, I know. I wish I could do something to help. I don't think I should sound bitter, even though I am, a little. This is my problem. I can't be what Rin wants for her. And for the same reason, she can't do the same for me either. She makes a difficult face, carefully trying to pick the words she wants to say. So Rin has times when it's hard to say something too.
It can't be helped, I think. But if you say that, it makes me feel a little better.
It's funny how some seemingly irrelevant things are the most significant ones at times like this. Like how Rin's voice is very, very small, barely audible when she says that. And how even her short bangs can cover her eyes when she looks downwards. And how they can cover the deep red color. And how they can cover the deep red color rising on her cheeks all the way to the tips of her ears. Oh.
Look at that blush.
They turn into a very interesting shade of red. A deafening silence follows. It's very awkward, as if I saw something that wasn't meant to be seen, even if it wasn't on purpose.
You say you've seen more than that.
For real. I don't know what to say to that, but I keep feeling like I should know. She doesn't either. I mean, he literally stuck his fingers in her.
Oh yeah.
Still, I feel like there's no momentum to lose, even if we keep silent. Like we have some weird wordless connection that would hold even so. Rin keeps shifting her weight from one foot to the other, restlessly looking everywhere around the room except at me. She's the one who finally breaks the spell.
Can we go? I don't want to stay here.
Oh, yeah, of course. Where? My reply is covering my nervousness as badly as her question is covering hers.
You can go wherever you like. I want to sleep. I haven't really slept for a few weeks.
That is fair.
It feels like there's a flock of light blue butterflies inside my head. It makes it hard to think properly. The kind you think is too blue to really exist. Like Emmy's paintings this morning.
Bruh. She shakes her head, and I almost expect a couple of ultramarine colored morphos to pop out of her ears. A small smile tugs upwards at the corners of her mouth.
That reminds me. The blue, not the panties. The word for a flock of butterflies is a swarm. I looked it up.
It makes my eye...
You guys talking about butterflies and you didn't know the word?
Oh, yeah.
And how she always likes to play with her hair.
Mm-hmm. It makes my eyebrow...
Almost as if we're bringing all the good times back.
That makes my eyebrow rise in a questioning arch. Why don't you use it then?
I like the other word better.
Why look it up in the first place then? Then you should use it, right? She nods and falls silent, her gaze escaping mine to the side, attracted by the dark orange sunlight refracting from the windows. We stay like this for a little while, me silently looking at her, silently looking out of the window. Hey, are you alright now? She glances at me from the corner of her eye, looking wistfully again. The sunlight's reflection doesn't betray any more of her inner feelings.
I'll need to think about that.
I want to continue this conversation, grasping at those straws that she finally revealed to even exist. But Rin is looking out of the window so absent-mindedly that I know she won't be responsive in any way that would make sense. It's like some kind of defense mechanism of hers, to avoid being sensible. Her mind is like a butterfly in itself, always fluttering somewhere anyway, away whenever it's stirred. Just when I thought I could see behind her veil, she jumps out of my reach again. Maybe that's just how Rin is. Maybe that's something I should just accept to get some peace of mind. Okay. I'll walk you back to the dorms then. Thanks.
Thanks.
Oop.
Really?
The empty hallways of the school, devoid of its students, feel very lonely. Less than 1 hour after the summer vacation began, the building seems to be deserted, and all that intrudes on the stillness of the hallways are our footsteps. The change is sudden, but it shows how the building is just an empty shell, dead without its students and teachers. It's as though the school has become a private world for only the two of us, a desolate place filled with silence and chalk dust.
I think I have to change.
She says this out of the blue while we walk down the staircase from the 3rd floor, still managing to feel like she is mirroring what I was thinking just before. That's what people must do sometimes. That's the last thing we say to each other that day, even though there would be so much to talk about. And even those words drown in the all-encompassing silence, disappearing into the stagnant air as if they were never said. The first day of summer vacation is a disappointment. Bruh. I woke up, water coming down from the laden sky in biblical proportions. I was optimistic at the time. A quick summer shower, I thought. Torrents of rain for a few minutes and then it's gone. Oh, thank you for the stretch, Corgi.
No, instead you get biblical flood amounts of rain. Get in the ark or you're gonna die.
You're saying that like it's a bad thing.
Got in the ark with Rin.
Huh?
I said, what if we got on the ark with Rin?
I feel like you'd kick me off for that.
When I say we, I mean Hisao and Rin.
Mm-hmm. I can see how reading even the narration would make your voice tired. That's why I'm like, I need green tea. I need something hot to go down my throat.
I can help.
Do tell what you have in mind, Draco. Then it's gone. No such luck. Rainwater.
What I was thinking.
Hmm?
Definitely. Some hot strawberry compote is what I was thinking. Definitely.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Rainwater is relentlessly pouring down from the blue-gray sky outside, streaming down the glass of my window in small brooks and rivers and gathering together to form miniature ponds on the walkways. And just like it has done for the past 2.5 hours. So I've been half-assedly cleaning up in between, half-assedly reading a book, packing my stuff on the side when I get bored of the first two. The weather drags my spirits down, too, making it harder to do anything properly. Something bumping quite loudly against my door rouses me from my apathy. I hope it's not cagey and it's crazy indoors bowling alley. What? I hear no more sounds from the corridor until I walk to the door and open it. Rin.
The fucking best line. Rin.
Rin. I wish seeing her would evoke some more emotion in me, but for one, I'm too surprised that she came to see me, and for two, she's soaking wet. Her uniform shirt is drenched, and she's standing in a self-created puddle. Droplets of rainwater are dripping from her short bangs and sliding down her nose, until they fall down from the tip. One by one. Hi. How are you feeling?
Medium normal.
as opposed to medium rare. The relative questionability of her statement aside, she sure doesn't look too good.
I love this because it's her theme, and like you don't hear it for like so long in this fucking route.
Oh, this is her theme?
Yeah, this is her theme. Even if you right click now, you'll see that it's called parody. Current music track. Parody.
Oh yeah. You're all wet.
It's because I came from the outside. Do you know it?
Why'd you be outside? It's raining buckets out there if you haven't noticed.
I haven't. It's raining pretty hard though. I was on a walk.
Is this what you call wallowing in self-pity?
Do you think I'm pitiful?
No, I implied that you think you are.
I'm not. And rain is not a sad thing. Don't you ever walk in the rain? You should try. It's so good.
I do, but only with proper equipment, like an umbrella. Nah, no,
What?
no, don't.
Oh, he said that. I was like, what? You walk
For
with
me?
an umbrella? Fuck that.
No, I don't. What? Why?
Either a thick, like, sweater or, like, you know, a light or waterproof jacket.
Yeah.
And nothing else on. No.
I'm just like, hmm. The laws are quite laxer, huh?
No. But no, like, for torso protection, if you will, that's usually it. And
Yeah.
then just like a pair of jeans.
Yeah.
You just need to imagine you have a blue umbrella with white stripes. Why does it always come back to panties with her?
It might be tough when rain is falling on my head.
Just imagine harder.
Yeah, she definitely is back. Bro. Damn, you good? Usually I'm making those jokes. Back to normal. Those half sarcastic, inconsiderate remarks that really push my buttons, even though she doesn't mean it. That vacant, spaced out stare that always expects more than it gives. You're lucky Jack's not here. It's so very much like her.
I may need to come in. I need some help with this water and clothes I'm wearing.
Come in, you say. My brain quickly solves the equation. I
Yes.
stumble with my words. Go on.
Come in.
A stark display of contrast against Ren's easygoing self-invitation. But Emmy... Ren shakes her head vehementiously, causing water to sprinkle everywhere.
She left. Besides, she would just worry and fuss until she could not worry or fuss anymore. Which always takes a troublesomely long time. It's in fact longer than I want to hear her fussing, and I thought you probably are not the fussing kind.
She slumps down on my desk with a squishy sound. Her soaked clothes are making the desk and everything on it wet, but she doesn't care. Okay, fine. I'll help you out. I have a towel somewhere. Do you want dry clothes? Is a uniform fine? Taller than you, but...
Everything is fine.
With a little searching, I find a fresh uniform and a fluffy towel from the depths of my closet. The towel in one hand...
Specifically noted to be fluffy.
Just like, listen, he likes his good, he likes his good fluffy towels. I can respect that. The towel in one hand and the uniform on the other, I turn to face Ren again, uncertain of the next step. I'm gonna quickly take a break to fill my water bottle. Who knows how much left we have left? How much do we have left?
Not a lot. There's like this scene and then like one more and then credits.
Oh, is this a second sex scene?
Maybe.
Yeah, that's why you're getting excited. This makes sense.
Well, I did say come in.
Bruh.
It has two meanings.
The cream. And let me point. The cream. The cream. Oh. The cream. The cream. The cream. The cream.
Oh, that's why I heard the cream from my kitchen. I'm back.
Welcome back.
I just saw a Discord message and I just was like, I am no space to help with that. Cool.
Wait, what?
Long story. Very, very long story. There's something wrong with me. A normal guy would just...
Stop worrying. It is not a problem.
She probably could see right through my hesitant demeanor. As if I was completely transparent to her. I push my anxiety away and concentrate on the 8 buttons lined on her shirt, and just like mine has. Meh. Only the first button is an obstacle, and after getting it over, I undo the others with slightly less shaking hands. Oh.
Don't worry, it's safe for work because
Bruh.
there's enough cloth.
Bruh. Throwing the soaked shirt aside, I reveal Rin's pale upper body, shrouded only in a blue bra, which instantly reminds me of her saying it's her favorite color. Well, hey, same. I try not to think too much about stuff, but it's hard not to look at her body with what I can only think of as mixed feelings. I don't know what to think of this, so I just watch her. Rin looks brittle. She's like a shell, a fragile thing that's barely holding together. Her ribs, each of them visible under her pale skin, are moving up and down in the rhythm of her breaths. Rin always struck me as quite thin, but I realize now that the manic creative period before the exhibition opening might have caused her to lose weight. Did she eat properly and enough? Definitely not, and probably not. This ugly yet beautiful bare minimum of a human body that belongs to someone I care about is a contradiction of aesthetics in itself, oddly becoming of her. That's a weird way to describe her body.
What?
So-
A bare minimum?
Yeah.
Well, she's particularly lithe, you could say, because there ain't much, like, weight on there.
Well, yeah, because
There, at least he's not even acknowledging bare minimum and then just glancing over, like, the obvious, because most people would say bare minimum 2 whole arms.
true.
You ain't even getting that.
I mean, at least there's respect there, but it's still just like, okay. My eyes follow her collarbone to her shoulder and down her arm until the abrupt end. No, it's less than bare minimum. I think it's a passing pang of sadness and some guilt for thinking like that. Her arms, degenerated into almost nothing but bone and skin due to lack of use, look very short now that the long sleeves of her uniform are not covering them. My lack of any negative reaction makes me think that I've actually grown pretty accustomed to the various physical abnormalities of my schoolmates. I always wondered why Rin keeps her shirt sleeves long. Only tying them in a simple knot at where the elbow would be. It seems a bit impractical, but then again, she's not exactly the pinnacle of practicality. Maybe she likes it. Maybe it's somehow important to her. Maybe there's no deeper meaning to it. I feel like asking, and almost do, but Rin's miserable state requires higher priority of my attention. She's stopped talking, too, after we ran out of spiky greetings. I guess there's no need for chit-chat, then.
Gonna dry her off.
I mean, I know, but just the fact that they kept the face. I pick up the towel from the bed and wrap it around her head, rumpling it all over her hair until most of the rainwater is hopefully soaked into the fabric. She peeks from below the towel at me, looking up with impassive eyes.
She's so cute.
It's true. It looks like she wants to say something without saying it. Kind of a look. But I can't read what she is thinking about from her face, so I just keep on fussing with the towel around her shoulders and hair. The silence is oppressive, terrifying. Communication between us has suddenly been reduced to the movements on my hands and towel, and Rin swaying her body to and fro. My jagged breathing and her quiet breaths trying to find common rhythm that just is not there. I think I can hear her heartbeats, or maybe they are just mine redoubled. As I brush a rogue strand of hair from her ear, Rin suddenly presses her cheek against the back of my hand. The contact of electric, a jolt of current surging through me. Whether she seeks comfort, warmth, or just my touch, I wouldn't know, but I can't help touching her back, caressing her soft cheek with my hand. And with closed eyes, she kisses me on the fingers, counting the joints with her lips. I'm saddened beyond my expressive capability. Here we are, a boy and a girl, both in love, or something like that, with each other, or maybe not. And yet, something is broken. I can feel it in me and Rin, in the way our gazes merely brush against each other, shying away from contact, in her closed, timid posture, and in my way of touching her like a china doll, afraid of shattering her delicate form. In how we are closer than we have ever been, yet I'm not feeling happy. It's like yesterday. When did tenderness and forlornness become one and the same word. Acts of affection start evoking only longing. Why did we end up like this? No, don't answer that. I'd like to say to myself, but fighting against the omniscience of self-awareness is almost a lost cause. Still, I'm here, and Rin is here, and it feels like she might be able to solve whatever problem she has. And if she can, why couldn't I? Why couldn't we? It feels like taking that step is too much, too difficult to understand, or too uncertain. So for now, all I can do is dry her up so that she won't get cold again. I pet her head, trying to sort out the hair that refuses to be sorted out, even when wet. A pair of dark glazed eyes follows my every movement. Pants too? She nods in answer, leans back and spreads her legs with a grotesquely inviting gesture that makes a nasty feeling crawl up and down my spine like a bad premonition. It's not enough to sober me, though, as the silence is starting to make me feel detached from myself. I move automatically without thinking, even though I should talk to her about this, or at least about something. The silence is a spell, a pact that has bound us to this private world made of the dull sound of rainfall and the soft feel of her skin against my fingers. The bottom of her trousers is fastened tight, but it opens surprisingly easy. Slipping them off is hard, mostly because she is sitting on them, with no intention of standing up to ease my task. I kneel down uncomfortably and titillating between her legs so I can quickly dry her bare feet, remembering that they are as important to her as hands are to me. As I work the towel up from her ankles, Rin brushes her thigh against my cheek and nudges the small of my back with her heel to make me come closer. Oh, I look up to meet her silent stare that was waiting for me to look up. That unassuming, unexpected stare seems to say that the ball is in my court. I fleetingly brush my hand against her inner thigh. The touch makes her gasp sharply, as if she was trying to hold back breathing.
Are we gonna see a fucking, what's it called, chinchilla again?
I have a feeling. What if I do this then? The small kiss I place on her thigh is enough to make Rin lose her composure, to shut her eyes and squeal almost inaudibly. Is that what you want too? Would it be alright now, to take this step? What if, maybe if... Yeah, go on.
We're waiting for the fucking chinchilla.
Hazy thoughts flow somewhere in the back of my unfocused mind. Somehow, this whole situation is making it hard to think, as if my head was full of cotton fluff. There's gonna be a chinchilla. It's like, there's the fluff. But that's alright. It seems thinking is not something we need right now. Oh! It's shrimp!
It's that shrimple.
Shut the fuck up. But, okay. I want the chinchilla back. I like how it was almost gonna cut to the end of that. Like, damn, okay. Alright. Present. Present is a fleeting and vague concept at best. The moment between the past and the future, it doesn't really mean anything. Thinking too much about things don't make sense and is a waste of time. That's why living through the present is always the best option. Besides, for us, who can't foresee the future and who forget the past too easily, present is really the only proof of our existence. Even though existence will only go on even if you forget about it for a while, it's good to seize the day at least every once in a while. That way, you can confirm that you are in fact alive. Wait, is this what he thought climaxing for the first time? Wait, that image is in the VN and not something you put up to censor something? Heh. Yeah, exactly. Because I have it turned off because, Twitch. But, yeah,
yeah, the censorship stuff, but like,
Ew.
well, censorship in game. There's obviously something there and more text.
More text,
Otherwise.
probably more images, you know? I know this very well. I come back to this
Hey,
every
all I'm
every day.
saying is Rin's not lacking.
Gives you the option. Gotcha. Yeah, it's in the options. I'm pretty sure that the girl who is standing there, half naked, staring out of the window of my room, has much better grasp of present than I do. As for me, well, right now, I'm somewhat confused by my present state, since I should try to locate my shirt and not stare at Rin's... Okay. But I just can't stop looking at her. I like how they put her back in the shirt. She's so close to the glass that her nose is probably going to leave a mark. At least her breathing does when it condenses on the rain-cooled window glass before quickly disappearing again.
Man, I hope no one got a fucking view. You know, like any students that are left around, or just anyone walking on the grounds. Because like the window's open, right?
Fully open, yep.
Someone could have seen.
Does she look like she gives a shit? No,
She doesn't.
no.
He might.
If they knew that was his room.
That's fair, but what if they saw him?
That's a different story. The next question is that against school rules?
I don't know. I don't know how co-ed the dorms are.
True. My shuffling...
I mean, the dorms are obviously aren't co-ed because they're like
yeah.
girls' dorms, guys' dorms. But I mean, like how willing they're allowed, giving the freedom.
I mean... Hello, Kato. Chicken butt. Yes. I mean, I suppose so, yeah. I feel like they're also pretty lax.
We just had Rin butt.
Bruh. I feel like when it comes to that, like, because I was in cadets, and it's like, yeah, no matter how hard they try to enforce the rules, people will find a way. They will find a way. If you are horny enough, you'll find a way. My shuffling around to get dressed doesn't rouse Rin from her contemplation, which is fine, really. I don't mind the silence as much as I used to. Only after I'm almost finished with buttoning up my shirt does Rin say something still, without turning to look at me.
Let's go somewhere.
Where? I can only assume she's inviting me and not the windowsill, but it's a fair guess. Fucking imagine.
I know.
What?
Help me get dressed. I think today is the day. Come on. Clothes.
She's really pushy with that. Clothes, clothes. What an impatient tone. I crouched down to pick up the bra from the floor where it had fallen, discarded in the haste of undressing, and forgotten there. Hanging it from between my fingers like a dead fish. I feel like he's holding it out like, ew, ew. The same...
He probably doesn't know what to do with it, you know?
True.
He knows how to take it off, not put it on.
Well, yeah, at least he knows that. The same hesitation that grasped me when I was undressing Rin is creeping inside my head again. Is intimacy really something this difficult for me to handle? To most people, yeah.
Come on, you got it off just fine. This is the same way, but the other way around. It's like talking backwards. You say sati tu dra smees.
Bruh. Perplexed by her sudden and prodigious display of mental processing capacity. Bruh. I forgot to attempt reversing her gibberish back. It's not hard, it's easy. I'm pretty sure I couldn't switch to talking backwards that fluidly, even with some practice. Could you repeat that? Hey, could you repeat that?
You say sati tub dra smees.
Got it. Fine, I'll give it a try. Win was right. The locking mechanism is simple enough, and I get the little plastic hooks right off, right on the third attempt. There. Processing.
Ti suja at eva ui wang.
Now you have to adjust it. What? Please stop that. I don't speak backwardese. She shakes her head as if needing to manage the backwards way of thinking with a physical gesture. I know a few people who could benefit from that kind of ability.
Got stuck. Now you have to adjust it.
Adjust?
That's what I said.
No, I asked what you meant.
You know, so they're fine.
Oh, fine, you say? As I have no idea what... As I have no idea when her breasts are supposed to be fine, I end up fumbling around her chest for a good while without really getting anywhere. Not that I would complain, but Rin does.
Emmy is better than you with this.
Her impatient tone ticks me off, even though I can't really disagree. Rin suddenly seems to be in an awful hurry. Yeah, well, excuse me. Could that be because she is a girl and actually can relate?
I don't think so. She has just about as much chest as you do.
Bruh. just the silence afterwards.
Not wrong, though.
Bruh. With her bra and breasts eventually fine as they could, as they should, the rest of her clothes are considerably easy to put on. Ouch. Yeah. Rin launches towards the door, even though her shirt is not even buttoned up all the way yet. Left with a little choice, I run after her. As soon as I realize that we're heading for the side entrance leading into the forest, I think I know where Rin wanted to go, although I couldn't say why she'd want to go there. Then again, I can't really assume my guesses to be anywhere near correct when Rin is concerned, not even for a quite generous definition of correct. The forest behind the wall smells of rain. The last raindrops are still dripping from the wet undergrowth into the earth, despite rain being gone for a while already. We stroll along with an unhurried pace that Rin sets, giving me time to take in the calming atmosphere. I think I can hear Rin saying hello to at least 3 different trees while she walks past them, but I ignore it, just like the trees do. She leads me to the narrow side path leading up to the hilltops, as I guessed. I peek through the canopy, trying to find a rainbow, but there doesn't seem to be one. It's perfect weather for rainbows. The sun is shining low, and the rain has passed not too long ago. Well, whatever. I lower my eyes from the treetops to see the gaunt back of the girl who is climbing up the hill slowly, without losing her balance. A few steps ahead of me on the path, but still within my reach. I don't think I ever could reach a rainbow, but reaching Rin, it seems less impossible than it used to seem. The clear sky greeting us from above the meadow clearing seems vast and beautiful. A strong wind is herding the rain clouds away from the town to the other side of the mountains in the distance. The sight is pretty, but a speck of white flies past the edge of my peripheral vision. When I turn to look, it's already gone. Another follows, then a third. Before I realize it, dozens of almost invisible small tufts of white are flying around all around us.
Look, the flowers.
Ah, I see it now. The sea of dandelions that cover the hilltop on our last visit has changed over the days. Where there were bright yellow before, they are now fluffy white. Some of the flowers have already shed their seeds, but many are still waiting for a subtle gust of wind, or a suitable gust of wind. Today, those gusts are not in short demand. Every now and then, they shake the grass thoroughly, and suddenly the air is thick with dandelion seeds. One by one, the seeds separate from the flower heads and are lifted away. A commonplace event, but one that seems to fascinate Rin for some reason. She's turning her head from side to side, marveling at the change happening all around her as the seeds fly by. I watch him too, following the white tufts floating with the wind towards the horizon, and imagine that I can see them even after they disappear from my sight.
Isa,
What is it?
do you love me?
I snap to attention to meet her suddenly very serious face that is not looking only at the flowers anymore. With a tough question asked just like that, out of the blue. Still, her bluntness compels me to answer rapidly. I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe too rapidly.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Rin sighs, perhaps unhappy with my wishy-washy answer. I would be too.
Me neither.
Is she the nature girl, the Via? No, she's the artist. Who's the nature girl?
There isn't one as far as I know.
Yeah. Huh.
I mean, this might be as close as we get to one. I'm not sure. I haven't played every route, so, like, I don't know Hanako's whole deal. She seems to be, like, the more shy, bookish one.
Yeah.
Don't really understand Lily's whole deal, and she's an A.
I could see Lily doing that. Bruh. Oh, I didn't imply that there had to be one. I was just wondering if she like coming out into nature from just the scene. Oh yeah, there's been a few nature scenes where she does that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't think I know much about love.
It's fine, isn't it? How should I know? The shrug of her shoulders seems to say, hesitating to give a firmer answer. She stays silent for only a second too long, but even that second isn't long enough for me to think ahead.
I love you.
Those 3 words freeze me in place like a rabbit staring into the headlights, but I'm not a rabbit, and I'm just staring into Rin's eyes that seem far too impassive for what she just let out of her mouth. Rin looks pretty serious, though, until she sticks out her tongue, frowns a little, and confuses me even more than her words did. Why does she look so mildly unhappy? Was it a confession of her deepest feelings? A test to see how I would react to... A test to see how she would react?
It tastes weird.
Taste?
Yeah. It's so weird.
She laughs, maybe nervously or so. I want to think, but stops midway when she notices how strange it sounds.
Like, I don't know what. I don't think there is a word for this.
Rin keeps on talking as though there was no meaning behind her words, steady and careless, words dropping from the same tongue that formed the more important ones.
A word for,
Except,
it's like...
she can't. Find the words. Rin just keeps staring at me, stumbling with her words as if her brain suddenly grounded to a halt. She looks awfully confused, much like how I feel right now, as I wait for her to explain. But she doesn't. She just blinks a few times, the flutter of her long lashes catching my fancy, because she looks like she is petrified otherwise, until I realize what they were fighting against. It's those weird tears again, not associated with sadness or happiness, not pitiable sobbing nor laughter of joy. Just tears, spontaneously and without warning, like that one time in her classroom. Just a few of them, not enough to make a fuss about, so Rin doesn't make a move to hide them, even after noticing. Rin cries, looking like she has no idea why, and somehow a great uneasiness grows in my chest when I look into her watery eyes that stare right back at me. It petrifies me too. The shock of the incomprehensibility of this situation. I just don't know what is happening anymore. Rin, what's wrong? She shakes her head in confusion, stumbling to get the words out of her mouth.
Sorry. I might be a little afraid of you.
The words are muttered slowly, with a small voice as disbelieving of what it's saying as I am. Huh? Why?
I don't know. Saying that just made me feel like that. People cry when they're afraid, right? See? I can do it too.
She's averting her gaze now, deliberately not looking at me. It bewilders me, at least, as much as what she is saying.
I sometimes, with you, want to run away so badly, but I can't move. It's like my legs turn into lemon panna cotta pudding, and my heart feels like it's gonna explode, and...
She slumps her shoulders melancholically.
Does a thing like this ever happen to you?
I remember the leaden sky above the frozen forest and the sound of the leafless branches clacking against each other. It's a memory from another life. Yeah, once. My heart hurt a lot back then, too.
But I thought your thing was not contagious.
I shake my head, and a tiny, slightly forced smile rises on my lips. The other ailment of my heart could very well be contagious, and I wouldn't care a bit. What are you afraid of? I never thought I was scary. Rin shakes her head desperately, as if knowing that the tangle inside her mind won't be undone with just that.
You make me feel that I should be someone else than me. It's a scary thing. It happens when you're being nice to me. Like yesterday. I never know what to do at times like that. It's hard.
Her voice is barely audible, a whispered admission of something that is too embarrassing to even think of, not to mention to say aloud. Rin has never been one to be embarrassed, so she does utter it aloud, only timidly as if by instinct.
But I want to do something. But I don't know if this me can.
For a moment we just stare at each other, as if waiting for the other to say something. You're so stupid. Rin's lips taste salty and scared against mine. As I grasp into her embrace, I feel my heart thumping in my chest painfully. Oh, is he about to die? Even though I am glad that she can say things like that, they make me feel sad after all. Rin's spirit, her passion, her strength, all these things that I hold dear are the ones that I don't want to change. How should I treat them? Where are they headed to? Is that future irrevocably different from mine? The anxiety will never lose its grip on my heart, but I think I could learn to live with it. Slowly, the pain in my heart dies out, and it settles into the same rhythm as Rin's. We listen to that for some time. After our lips break apart, it takes a while for either of us to realize that we can say something now.
See? You are a really kind person. Even when you're not. It's the most scariest thing ever. I think that all I was ever afraid of is your kindness.
Is it bad, even if you're afraid? She thinks about it for a while, furrowing her brow as though it was some kind of hard math problem.
No. I'm alright with it. It's fine. If it's you.
Like a weight lifted from my chest, her words elate my heart, filling it with, I don't know, happiness? What else could it be? This time my smile is genuine. Rin steps back, still smiling gently at me like I do at her. While she wipes her face on her shoulder, I pick up a round, plump dandelion, clock, and bring it to my pursed lips. They spread out into the wind that picks them up and carries them to their new home. To think, only a few short weeks ago, they were so different. This is change. Hey, so the flowers became what they were meant to become, like you said the last time. What about you? Did you become a true artist, or did you not, because you ran away? She pauses for a while to ponder my question, and shrugs her shoulders. It almost makes her laugh. The carefree easiness of her gesture is a loving thing, a sign of how Rin can, truly, and really without any restraints whatsoever, shed the entire weight of the world from her shoulders, should she will so. She is, in every possible, and probably a few impossible ways, free. And I think I might love her for that.
I don't think it matters. Let's just watch the clouds for today.
She takes 5 steps to climb the large rock so she can rise as high as it's possible here, and stands on tiptoes. When you reach for the clouds, every inch counts. Sure, let's watch the clouds. It's good to do something that you really want to do every now and then.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I glance upwards at the blue sky opening high above us. It's a deep, cerulean vastness that spreads to fill my entire field of vision and beyond. Yet Rin stays on her rock, peering out into the distant horizon, where the rain clouds are drifting farther away from us.
I have decided something.
That dreaming voice of hers, spoken to the wind that carries it to my ears, is lacking resolve in tone, but is full of it in meaning.
It's alright to be me after all.
It's all right. Her decisions always seem to be pretty far out. Well, I suppose that is an important realization. Coming to terms with oneself, accepting yourself, being fine with what you are. A simple resolution of heart that, for some people, is overbearingly hard to do, if not impossible. I do realize well enough that I might also be one of those people. Rin too. Maybe we are not that different after all. Maybe to accept someone else, you must first accept yourself. Maybe that is a necessary step, which we didn't take until now. Looking at her standing on that rock, I believe that she can find whatever she is looking for. And so can I. The wind catches her hair and clothes, and Rin spreads her short arms into an embrace that is so very, very tiny, but as wide as she can ever do. For a moment, it looks like she herself might take flight, and I have to hold myself back to not reach for her shoulder, to not drag her back to me. But this picture is something I can only watch. It is something for me to remember. Rin's sleeves are flapping freely in the wind, her hair wildly tousled by it, her skin touched by the setting sun. Her sleek form that I have come to adore is quivering in the cool wind that carries the small white specks past her, each a beginning of a new flower. All that is engraved inside my heart. Like those tiny seeds scattered into the wind, I'm sure Rin too can take her place in this world without the need to create her own inside of it. Maybe she believes it too, and standing as close to the heavens as possible, she's giving the world a big hug. To me, it seems like the entire world could really fit there, between those small arms of hers, inside of her, all-encompassing embrace.
So?
She looks at me in the same way she calls my name, carelessly over her shoulder with a strange happiness in her voice and in her eyes. I gaze into those mysterious dark eyes that are curiously twinkling from below her auburn hair. Although I'm too far from her to see it, I'm sure they are reflecting my image. What is it?
What's the word for when it feels inside your heart that everything in the world is alright?
What is it, Hisao? I need to know the answer. Oh, God. Oh, okay.
Thing.
Uh.
She doesn't. There is no word specifically for that. Oh, but don't just skip.
Oh, her
Don't
concept
worry,
art.
there'll be a time that you can skip. Look at that.
Aww. Of course.
Like all the concept art.
Very cute. Oh.
And that's how you land at the new room.
That makes sense.
And 4 leaves of a clover. Well, a reminder, it was 4chan.
It was 4chan. The only time I can actually say 4chan has done something good for the world.
And look,
Oh.
if you look at Hisao down at the bottom there, all of 4 acts that spawn from just Rin's Road alone are all there on scrap paper. Actually, no, I think that's second. Yeah, it's second act, third act, and fourth act. First act is like once he gets out of the hospital.
Yeah, first act is technically this, but then I think was it second or third that had the.
It's second act where he's reaching for.
Oh, second act is
like-
this.
Yeah.
Third act
Third
is
was
these two.
Distance, where he's Thinker and she's
Venus.
Shape of Venus.
Mm-hmm.
And fourth act is where she's standing in the puddle alone.
Yeah. Well, shit. Ugh. My throat hurts. But. That is all for today. Holy shit. This game, man. This is a game. I'm almost tempted to at least see, but I'm like, I feel like this is good enough. I got what I needed out of this, and, you know. God damn it.
You want to see what else is in this game?
What? Oh,
No,
Wait.
I was asking if you did, not like
like,
if
oh,
you're going to, because obviously there's no way you're finishing a whole fucking route in like a night.
oh god, no. I mean, at the same time, I'm like, I'm good with Rin's route. I'm not someone who's gonna go and do like every single route, but like, I mean, Hanako, I'd be interested to see at least, you know, how that goes. But other than that, I'm just like, nah, I think we're good. I think Rin's route just beat the shit out of me. Kind of left me as a pile. Alright. But that is everything today. Thank you guys so much for watching and being here. I should be back tomorrow for an art stream, finally. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great